I went to a concert over this last week.
I'm gonna ask you how that was.
I don't know what type of shows you are going to that are stinky. Like
Me? What do you mean?
because remember how you were saying, like, I think it was one of your hot takes. You were saying at concerts they should hand out deodorant.
Oh, Charlie XCX.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not just because it was called Sweat Tour, but just
I was actively smelling people there just to see, because I remembered you had talked about that, and I was like, I never really took into.
well, let me ask you this: was there a lot of people of color at this concert?
I don't know. It was dark, but I did see a few.
Because I can tell you right now, the complexion that matches mine is the culprit.
Oh.
It's not.
I mean, yeah, there were a lot of white people there, but I don't think they were stinky.
The Sacramento region is just very good at showering and putting on deodorant.
I guess so. It was at Ace of Spades. That was a cool little venue.
I like Ace of Spades.
Yeah.
They're opening up a new one.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And
someone at work is going to a show there when it opens.
Denzel Curry's going to be there.
Ooh.
He's like always in Sacramento. I don't know why he loves Sacramento.
Fuck yeah. I want to see Denzel again.
I went to get tickets because there's a couple artists that are like, they have like a whole like headlining series because it's like 1 or 2 a week.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, let me see who they got. And they had Wallows. And I was like, oh, I'll get tickets to see Wallows because I went to see them last year in San Francisco and I'm just done.
Done with San Francisco shows?
I'm not done with San Francisco. I'm just done driving to San Francisco for concerts. It's like
I hate going to SF for shows. They got some cool spots out there. Like that one place with the lions with the red eyes.
Bill Graham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw
it's like right outside City Hall.
There. Yeah. That is a cool venue.
I don't well, this is the whole thing. It's like
Fillmore.
It's 90 minutes from here with no traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's never a thing. So like little under 2 hours. What I hate is that I gotta pay $50+ for parking.
Yeah.
And like we have a train, Amtrak goes there, but Amtrak cuts off its fucking run times at like 11, and there's not a single concert I know that ends at 10:30.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, I have to drive there. There's no feasible way unless you take BART in Vallejo.
That also has a cutoff time, does it not?
Maybe. I've never looked into it.
Mm-mm.
But it's like Sacramento has 2.5 million people. Not the city, but like the metro area.
Yeah.
And we have, I think, one of the larger basketball arenas. I think Golden One has a higher capacity than most.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as big as like Staples Center, but like it's bigger than most basketball arenas.
It's got its whole shopping center around it.
Yeah. We have the Memorial Auditorium, which is like that brick one that kind of looks like a church downtown. That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
We have small venues. We have a whole soccer field. We're getting a soccer stadium soon.
Yeah, I went to a show at the soccer field, like out at Cal Expo, and it was like middle of October, hella cold. We were standing on grass. It was fucking muddy.
It was cold in October?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was like one of the rare times.
Well, it's just like we have all these venues. The only venues we really don't have that people perform at is a baseball stadium and a football stadium. But we're getting a soccer stadium, which is pretty equivalent, I think, in the States to like a baseball stadium.
Like in terms of size?
In terms of seating.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it's just like, for some reason, it's like all these artists are like, I can't stop in Sacramento. And it's like, yeah, you can. You really can, though. You would have, because everyone that is at the San Francisco show is also coming from Sacramento.
Yeah. There's also that amphitheater out in Wheatland. I went to a show out there. That was an okay venue.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing. It's just like, we don't have that, but now we're getting this kind of mid-sized venue that's supposed to be comparable to like Bill Graham. And so Wallows was going to be there, and I was like, oh, I'll get tickets, $90. And I was like, okay, look, no, I'm sorry. We have to put our foot down on concert tickets. Like, it's fucking ridiculous.
I bought the tickets. I had to buy them resale because I was supposed to do something and then I wasn't. And I bought the tickets resale for I think $80 each.
Jesus Christ, for an Ace of Spades show.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't live in Sacramento, Ace of Spades is the size of a postage stamp.
Yeah.
It's a very small venue. It can fit like maybe a couple hundred people.
They packed that shit.
Oh yeah, no, they're very strict about that fucking blue line on the ground.
Yeah,
and they're like, get behind that line. You can't stand in this alleyway. When we went to see Wallows at Ace of Spades, it was I think like $25 plus fees, so it ended up being like $70, which is fine.
Probably
but
how much it would have been if I didn't buy it resale.
Fair, but it's just I don't know. Concert tickets are just ridiculous. Like
yeah.
I remember going to see Casey Musgraves here in Sacramento at Golden One, and I was like, yeah, I don't really need to sit pit. Like, I'm not paying all that money for it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll sit, like, at the lowest level of the 200, which is, like, right above the 100. And so I was like, oh, our budget should be, like, $70 max. We ended up spending, like, $120. And I was like, I'm sorry. Like, Casey Musgraves, she might have won Album of the Year, but, like, $120 to see a 90-minute show, that's like $1 a minute.
Yeah,
it's like almost exactly $1 a minute.
Yeah,
it's just ridiculous. Like, I don't know. I think my biggest pet peeve with concerts is they don't fucking start on time.
Yeah,
I don't.
I feel like I've had more issues with shows not starting on time at festivals than I have at like actual concerts.
Well, at festivals they're more strict because they have like noise ordinances and stuff usually, like Coachella. But like when we went to see Lorde, I love her. I love Lorde so much. But her opener did not go on until almost 10 p.m. and then the show started at 8.
Yeah, see, that's ridiculous.
We ended up getting, and that's the whole thing, is like, I was like, oh, show starts at 8. Okay, opener will go on, come on for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Lorde will come out 9:15, shows hour and a half. We'll be done by 11, home by 12:30. I could still wake up the next day and go to work.
Yeah.
No, we didn't get home till 3 a.m.
Yeah.
And I was just like, this is fucking ridiculous. Like,
yeah, when artists are that fucking late, I often wonder, like, oh, okay, are they just being an asshole and, like, not coming out? Or is there, like, some fucking unresolved technical issue? Like, the fucking microphone's not turning on.
I'm going to keep it real with you. There's been a couple artists in my life. I went to see Rex Orange County. Show. There was no opener. Show started at 7. He was on at 7:01. Like the little, like, the lights dimmed at 7, and by 7:01, he was on stage. Awesome. Went to see Taylor Swift. Show started at 7. The countdown, she had like a countdown clock for her her openers came out at 7. She had 2 openers. They did their thing, but the openers came out a couple minutes early, and then she came out a couple minutes early. I'm not asking for them to come out early, but like she came out on time.
Yeah, just don't be out like 2 hours late.
Well, and that's the whole thing is like I've like thought about it. Like if I ever got into like elected office, I think that like entertainment reform would be a huge priority because it's a fucking scam. It really is. Like is it Golden Voice? I don't know. Ticketmaster has contracts with like I think it's like 80% of concert venues.
Yeah.
In the United States, so they can't like go through third party. But like I think an implementation of false there has to be some applicable facet of the false advertising laws that could apply to like concerts because the I don't know if you saw, I think it was Madonna out in Boston. She was 4 hours late.
God damn.
To a concert. The show didn't start until like almost midnight. And so people were like
waiting 4 hours for Madonna in the year 2025.
She's popular. She's super popular. But this is the thing. It's like I understand like, okay, if there's like a system, you know, something wrong with the sound system, lighting, whatever, you know, that's fine. I understand that. But there has to be a cutoff point where it's like, okay, because the people's complaints weren't necessarily like, oh, Madonna's this diva, she's making this wait, which she is a diva, but like it's more of, hey, we bought these concert tickets for a show that started at 8 under the assumption that we would be able to get back to whatever transit system they have in Boston.
Yeah.
And I think they said it cut off at like 12:30 or 1 or something like that. And so a lot of people had to Uber.
Yeah.
And Uber does surcharging because Uber's a fucking greedy corporation. And so it's like there's people who were like, hey, I bought these tickets under the assumption I'd be back home by 12:30 1 a.m. and I could still get up for work the next day. and I wasn't getting home until 4 a.m. and now I had to take a day off work.
It's all a conspiracy. Madonna, Ticketmaster, and Uber are working together.
Pretty much. They have to be. But like, imagine a system where you're like, okay, show starts at 8. If it doesn't start within 15 to 20% of the show's predicted runtime.
Mm-hmm.
So, because they list the runtime, right?
So you just want if teacher doesn't show up in 15 minutes, we get to go home.
Well, this is what I think. This is my proposition for an amendment to the law. So basically, you by law have to post a expected runtime of the show because the shows fluctuate. Not every show goes the exact way. Sometimes there's a wardrobe malfunction in the middle and you have to stop. Sometimes someone might have to go to the bathroom, like whatever. Mm-hmm. Right? So you say, okay, show's going to be anywhere between an hour and 30 to 2 hours. Okay, we'll give you the 2 hours so you have a smaller percentage. Mm-hmm. If the show does not start within 20% of that runtime, which would be 12 minutes of its posted runtime, 120 minutes, so 12 minutes. At that point, any concert goer has the right to a full refund, but they have to leave the venue, or they are entitled to an automatic refund of the exact percentage that the artist is late. So let's say the artist comes out 30% late. They get 30% back off their ticket, their total ticket price.
Yeah, they're never doing that.
Now, I know. I'm saying that's my legislative proposal. But that would, I think, prompt artists to be more prompt. Because I do think it's a combination of artists being, difficult. Mm-hmm. And it would also prompt venues to be a little bit more succinct. But I think that the refund should come from the ticket advertiser, Ticketmaster.
I think we should just get rid of Ticketmaster entirely and have the venues individually sell tickets.
Force them to go to the box office.
Yeah.
You want your tickets? Drive out to the box office.
Yeah. Talk to a person in a little glass box.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really have a good little segue, but welcome to the Learning Curve podcast.
You don't need a ticket for this podcast.
Yeah, there you go. No tickets required. Free entertainment. The Learning Curve podcast.
Until we turn on ads.
Yeah, until we turn on ads. I'm not putting on like a sultry, sexy voice, by the way. I just sound like this today, so I apologize.
I don't sound like an NPR radio host.
I don't know what's wrong with me, but I woke up this morning and my throat felt like someone stuck a knife right through the middle of it. It feels fine now. I took a shower and it feels fine now, but my voice is still kind of fucked.
Couple notes on that. You didn't wake up this morning. You woke up this afternoon.
Oh, yeah. I did wake up pretty late. I was up till 3. And I set an alarm for 10:30 because I was like, 7 hours, that's fine. I normally get 6 on a good day. I didn't wake up until 12.
6 is what I get.
Yeah. Anyways, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, let's introduce ourselves before I forget. I'm literally sitting here. I had it like that's all I could think about. I am fully clothed today, and I'm Cameron.
I'm Bodhi, aka Shrinky Dink, aka 3-shirt Shrinky. I wore 3 shirts to the concert.
Why?
Well, I didn't wear it to the concert. I wore 1 shirt to the concert, bought 2 more at the concert. Didn't want to carry them. Didn't want to tuck them into my pants and have someone steal them. So I just put them all on.
Okay.
3 double XL tees.
Double XL?
Yeah.
How do you wear a double XL? Is it just you like just the baggy stuff?
Yeah, I just like the baggy stuff.
Okay.
Which is a great transition into what I want to do today.
Oh God.
Sometimes my clothes just feel like they're kind of choking me, and I don't really like it.
This is leading to an undressing. I don't like this.
No. So you've been giving me quizzes and questions and tests and shit, right?
Okay.
Today, we're going to learn something about you.
About me?
Yeah, and we are going to take an 80-question test.
80 questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
To figure out how much autism you have.
Oh, man.
I've taken this before.
What did you
have
score?
A score. I will reveal it at the end.
Okay. I will say you can't see it because I have a shirt on. I have a shark tattoo now.
That's what I was going to say. And this is why I think there will be a score for you because of your obsession with sharks.
I just okay, for context, if I was not a criminal justice major, my major would
be a shark.
A marine biologist. I would have applied to Monterey State Bay University or whatever it is, CSU, Monterey State Bay.
Yeah, you would have gone to the same school as my girlfriend.
Oh, she went to Monterey State?
Yeah.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah.
She didn't do marine biology?
No, she did math.
That's dumb. That's a weird school to go to for math. No tea, no shade to her, but
I think she said she just went there because it was pretty.
Yeah, that's a good excuse to go to Monterey.
Yeah.
But their whole thing is that is where you go for marine biology. That's the hub. Before we begin though, I meant to tell you, I saw a Make America Hard Again gas station boner pill.
Fuck yeah.
And I don't know if it's like a Trump brand thing or if they're just using...
This nation is healing.
Well, I don't know if it's a Trump brand thing or if it's just they're using the Trump likeness, illegally, but I thought about it. I was like, what if we did an episode where I don't have them on me, where we take...
You want to do a boner pill episode?
Where we take it at the very beginning and just kind of see how it works throughout the episode and see if there's anything going on.
Oh my God. We need to set up some type of contraption with electrodes on our dicks to a fucking meter.
Oh, like an EKG. Oh, the fucking boner health.
Yeah, the
guy.
Boner meter. Yeah. We'll see.
Okay.
All right, this is great. So all of the answers for this question are the same. It's going to be A, B, C, D. A, true now and when I was young. B, true only now. C, true only when I was younger than 16. And D, never true.
I'm not going to remember all four of those until about halfway through, so just keep repeating them.
Okay.
Just.
First question. I am a sympathetic person. True now when I was young. True only now. True only when I was younger than 16. Never true.
There's not an always true. That's the A one, right?
Yeah, true
okay.
now and when I was young.
We'll go with A.
Okay. I often use words and phrases from movies and television in conversations.
I just like pop culture. Yes.
Now and when I was young,
yeah.
Only now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm often surprised when others tell me I have been rude.
No, never.
Never true?
Yeah, Sean and I just had this... Sean and I had an argument last night about this.
Oh, shit.
No, he was like, yeah, sometimes you come off as very rude to people. And I was like, that's just my face. That's just how I talk, and that's just my face. And he was like, no, you're super sympathetic. Your face is a very approachable face. And I was like, that's not what I try to be. Sorry. That is not the goal.
I will say, I feel like I'm taking Sean's side on this. And
you think I have a sympathetic face?
I get the same thing. Not so much the face, but the more, the way you were talking.
Yeah, a lot of people think I'm very, personable. And it's not that I try not to be, and it's not that I don't want to be. It's more so I just don't like socializing.
Yeah, I get told a lot, and with my last job, I had my boss sit me down and talk to me a couple times, and we're you need to be nicer to people.
I can switch it on for customer service. At work now, I'm hi, this is Cameron, and I, whatever.
Yeah.
But I switch it on and switch it off. But even when people give me compliments in public, I'm like, oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
It's not that I can't take a compliment. It's just I don't.
I just say what I need to say, and I feel as few words as possible, and that often comes off as brash and.
Well, I also don't like to sugarcoat stuff.
Yeah, I don't like doing that shit.
And the whole thing is I don't like to be mean, but I'm definitely not going to be well, I'm going to hold your hand when I say it. I'm just going to say
yeah,
you're
I'm
being fucking stupid right now.
I'm just going to fucking tell you how it is. Yeah.
Okay, next question.
Sometimes I talk too loudly or too softly, and I am not aware of it.
Okay, so softly and loudly.
Yeah, either you're fucking screaming or you're whispering, but you're not aware of it.
I can't attest for how I was when I was younger. I don't remember anyone telling that, but now you tell me I talk too softly to the mic.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna hit true only now for that one.
Okay.
I often don't know how to act in social situations.
No, I can read a room.
You can read a room?
Yeah, okay, I can
never
read a room.
True?
Yeah.
I can put myself in other people's shoes. Me, I cannot do this shit.
What's the sometimes?
What are the answers again?
Yeah, give me the answers again.
True now and when I was young. True only now. True only when I was younger than 16. Never true.
I guess I'm gonna have to go true now and young because I can, but there's just certain situations where I'm like,
Yeah.
why would you do that? Like, I can't even see it from your perspective.
I have a hard time figuring out what some phrases mean, like "you are the apple of my eye." I have no idea what that shit means.
I mean, I assume it's just like a glimmer in the eye kind of thing. I don't know.
Apples don't glimmer.
Yeah, they're really shiny with wax. You're supposed to wash wax off apples before you eat them.
Well, I knew you're
Never
supposed to
done that.
wash apples. Like, you're supposed to wash, like, most fruits and vegetables that you just eat instead of, like, peeling, you know?
Is it a conservative talking point to say that that's stupid?
Washing the...
Yeah, because if it is, then fucking give me a red hat.
I mean, I feel like it's...
No, if it's like something that's dirty, like a mushroom, like overtly dirty, yeah. But if it's like a strawberry, I'm like, okay, if there's no dirt on, like if there's no visible dirt, like...
Yeah, I don't know.
Look,
I wash my fruits.
I'm not gonna say what I've had. I'm not gonna say what I've had in my mouth before, but it can't be worse than like a dirty blueberry.
Damn, you eat walnuts?
Yeah,
that's gross. So yeah, I have a hard time figuring out what some phrases mean.
No. Okay. I'm pretty literate.
I only like to talk to people who share my special interests.
No. It's no.
Okay.
I would say no, never. I like hearing other people's shit.
I focus on details rather than the overall idea.
Ooh.
I will say you tend to extrapolate shit like a lot.
Go ahead and mark me down for yeah.
True now and when I was young. True only now. True only when I was younger than 16.
Yeah, the A.
Okay.
The 16 specifically. I love the 16 specifically.
There has to be like some switch in your brain that goes off at 16. Maybe that's...
I know that most, and not that autism's a mental disorder. I mean, technically, it's a mental thing.
Yeah.
But it's not like a mental disorder like DMS. Is that what it's called? Yeah, DMS.
DMs.
The diagnostic DSM. Diagnostic Statistics Manual. It's like the big book of like mental disorders, like bipolar, all that shit, schizophrenia. I know that 18 to 24-year-olds are the ripest age for like a mental thing, but I know that autism is best diagnosed before you're 5.
Yeah.
So.
All right, question 10. Always notice how food feels in my mouth. This is more important to me than how it tastes.
Okay, see, that's a very loaded question because I do notice how food feels in my mouth, but that's because I cook a lot. Like I like
is
textures.
That more important to you than taste?
No. Okay. It can be equally, sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. Like I would say no.
Okay. I miss my best friends or family when we are apart for a long time.
I mean, who doesn't?
No answer.
Sure, yeah.
When you were
when I was young. Yeah.
Sometimes I offend others by saying what I am thinking, even if I don't mean to.
Yes. A lot.
Yeah, that's the same with me too. I like to think and talk about a few things that interest me. This is me. I like just fucking obsess over just like a couple things.
Well, I don't know. What do you define as like a couple things, a few things? Because I like cooking.
Like
I like cooking. I like marine life. It's not just sharks.
Mm.
I like comic books. I like film. I like there's so many things that I like doing. I like there's so many things. Is it dozens and dozens of things? No. But is it more than a handful? Sure.
Yeah, I think it's more just like you have a couple obsessions. Like
yeah,
for me,
I'm not known as like the shark guy. Okay. I can tell you that.
For me, I will constantly change like what I am obsessed with. Sometimes I'll stick with something for a while, like Magic the Gathering. Like I know so much about that. I know ins and outs. I've read so many rules out of their 900-page rule book. I know all of these different cards from like the past 20 years the game has been. Well,
I think it's natural to go on kicks, is it not? Like I'm in a Western kick right now with movies. Like I don't want to watch any other movie that's not a Western right now.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the difference is like if I was on a Western kick, I would learn like what type of dirt they use on the set.
Oh no, okay, then like, no, never. Like yeah, okay, so then never. In that context, never.
Okay.
I do on some things, but not on.
Okay. I'd rather go out to eat in a restaurant by myself than with someone I know.
No.
Yeah, I fucking hate that. If I'm going to a restaurant by myself, I'm getting that shit to go.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine what it would be like to be someone else.
Okay, wait. I cannot imagine what it would be like
to be someone else.
So you're incapable of putting yourself in someone else's shoes? No, never.
Okay. I've been told that I am clumsy or uncoordinated.
When I was young.
Okay. Others consider me odd or different.
Like that Riverdale clip. I'm weird. I'm an outcast. No, I don't think so. I don't know what others think of me, and I really don't care.
Okay.
I'm not a...
I understand when friends need to be comforted.
Yeah.
Now
Always.
And young.
Always.
Okay.
I'm pretty good at reading people.
I'm very sensitive to the way my clothes feel when I touch them. How they feel is more important to me than how they look. And this question...
That's another loaded question.
Yeah.
It's the same thing as like the texture of food, because to me, okay, I was going to bring this up. I went to go get a couple of new shirts. Mm-hmm. This is one of them that I got, this green one. And I went to get t-shirts because like I just need new t-shirts because I kind of bulked up a little bit, so I need to go up to an XL. And like I don't know what it is, but like every fucking company under this fucking God's green earth is like, we're going to make the most like, what is it, like clingy material shirts. Like I like thick shirts that don't cling to your body hair. I don't know if it's a body hair thing.
Honestly, go to a smoke shop. You'll only be able to get solid colored tees, but they got like the...
That's what I want. I want blank,
like,
solid colored tees. I don't want logos or anything like that.
Yeah, go to a smoke shop. They'll have like thick, heavy tees.
Okay. Okay. So I care more about how my clothes feel on my body than how they look.
Yeah.
Like equal, so I never.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one for me is like, this idea is the reason why I prefer to wear like 2X shirts now, because I used to wear larges. I could probably still wear a large fine.
We're the same shirt size?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I moved up to extra larges because larges were starting to feel like a little tight on me, and it felt like they were choking me. And then just because it was like the fucking fashion thing to wear like super baggy clothes, I got a 2X of one shirt I think it was when I was at Target. I was in like the women's section and I was looking at shirts, and there was a shirt that I liked that was an extra large. And so I was like, okay, I'll get that. But it ended up fitting like a 2X. And I was like, oh, I like the way this feels. And then wearing my other extra large shirts, I was like, this is too tight. I feel like I'm choking.
See, my problem is I do like the baggy stuff. I like to go get like an XL shirt. But now for some reason, there's this thing that like XL also means tall.
Yeah.
And so then like the shirt goes down to like halfway down my legs, and I'm like,
yeah,
I'm not 6'7".
I like that. I like pretending I'm wearing my father's clothes.
Okay.
I can capture some of that, which I never got.
Okay.
I like to copy the way certain people speak and act. It helps me appear more normal. I unconsciously do this. Like,
but that's a sociological thing. That's not a, like, I think what the question is asking is like, do you chameleon? Like, is it like an intentional, like you don't know how else to act, so you copy what everyone else does to kind of fit
this just
in.
asks if you code switch.
Yeah. I mean, sure. If I code switch if I'm like talking to a real straight person, and I'm like, yes, pussy, yes, women, and Playboy magazine.
You do mention Playboy a lot around me.
But like, I don't think I code switch to like talk to like my boss.
Okay.
In fact, I do the opposite. I fucking say cunt a lot in the office, and I get in trouble a lot because I can't like control it.
So true now when I was young.
I'm gonna say
true only now.
Maybe when I was young, but definitely not now.
Okay, so I'm gonna do true only when I was young and then 16. I don't know if and now that I'm reading this question, it's different, I feel like, from how I interpreted it when I took the test. When I was younger, and even now to some extent, if I watched a movie that I really liked, or like a TV show, or played a game or whatever, I would like either pick up like the accent of the person talking, or like something they were saying, just kind of unconsciously, and I would start like behaving like that, and I would realize I was doing it, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cringe, I need to try and stop.
It's a white person thing. It's like when white people like are talking to someone with like a thick accent, and like they don't speak English very well, and they think that talking in that accent in English is gonna like help make them understand, and it's like, no, dude, the word is just completely different. Like,
I think it was less like that of me just trying to adopt other people's personalities as my own.
Okay. What's the question?
Huh?
You never read the question.
Oh no, that was that question. The copy way people speak.
Okay. I thought you were just talking about the next question.
Oh no,
read it to me.
This is the next question. It can be very intimidating for me to talk to more than one person at the same time.
See, I feel like these questions need to have different like answers. Like sometimes now, never. Because like sometimes yeah, but sometimes no. I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
Yeah. Overall, no. I don't think it's like a chronic problem.
I have to act normal to please other people and make them like me.
You have to what?
Act normal.
Act normal.
Yeah.
No.
No?
Yeah.
Okay. Meeting new people is usually easy for me.
No, never.
Never?
I think I struggle with that a little bit.
Yeah, I don't like meeting new people.
I'll talk to people, but like, I don't think I open up to people. I try to open up to people a lot, but like, I feel like I either go full throttle or not at all.
Yeah.
And that's like a problem, because then I'm like, do you want to hear
what's the worst thing that ever happened to you?
About how me and my ex tortured each other for 4 years.
Yeah, no, if I am completely sober, I will have to hang out or like be around the person probably a total of 5 times before I feel like I can start like talking to them instead of just responding to things they're saying to me.
I think part of it's also somewhat of like I don't want to say strict like respectability level, but like the respectability of the behavior, because I will say that like in Reno, when I meet a lot of like ROTC people and we were all drunk, it was very easy to like open up to them because there's not a lot going on.
Yeah, no, if I'm fucked up, I will immediately become your friend.
No shade to the servicemen and women of this country, but you know, you meet a Marine and you know what you're talking about. Like, you know, it's just crayons for brains. It's just they're up there coloring, and no one's home. Appreciate your service, but no one's home, and so that's easier. But if I meet someone who's like an intellectual, you know, someone who's like a little bit more smart, a little bit more, you know, down to earth, I'm like, okay, I gotta not be stupid. Like, I gotta actually try and not fuck this up.
Cameron's taking a stance. Only dumb people go to the military.
The recruitment. We could do an episode on how they recruit.
Episode. Number 24. I get highly confused when someone interrupts me when I'm talking about something I'm very interested in.
I lose my train of thought, but I don't think I get confused, so no, never.
Okay. It is difficult for me to understand how other people are feeling when we are talking.
Never.
Never? Okay. I like having a conversation with several people, for instance, around a dinner table, at school, or at work.
Maybe just now.
Just now?
Yeah, I think when I was younger, I tended to not be vocal.
Okay. I take things too literally, so I often miss what people are trying to say. This is me.
I know how to read between the lines. But I have this thing of like impact over intent.
Okay.
You know, where it's like I believe that like no matter how you intended to say something, it's how it actually lands that's really important.
Yeah.
So I do tend to take people pretty literally. So okay. I would say yeah.
Okay. It is very difficult for me to understand when someone is embarrassed or jealous.
No, never.
Okay.
I read people so well like that.
I like when people are embarrassed or jealous. Well, yeah, that is exactly this. I just don't understand. Like, for example, if I go out in public with my girlfriend and I start just ripping ass in the middle of a Forever 21, rest in peace, and she's like super embarrassed, I'll be like, why? Like, we're never gonna see these people again.
Why a Forever 21? You're like, first off, you're like a dad. That's how dads behave. So, second, why Forever 21 specifically? Is that like where you're comfortable ripping ass?
Well, no, that's just the first name I pulled because they like all shut down this week.
That's true. Okay.
So it's on the noggin. Some ordinary textures that do not bother. Bleh. Some ordinary textures that do not bother others feel very offensive when they touch my skin.
All right. Am I going to be the one to say it? We got to start naming textures because I can't think of a texture that bothers me. No. What is like that silky like bed sheet material?
Silk?
No. Is it chiffon?
Chiffon?
It's like glossy. It's like glossy kind of thing. Like think like lingerie.
Isn't lingerie made of silk?
Yeah, well, no, not like lingerie like you wear. Like think of like a lingerie shoot, like in like
a lingerie shoe.
Second Playboy mention of the episode. Think of like a Playboy shoot where they're like on like a bed and like
shoot.
Yeah,
I thought you said shoe, and I was like, what?
Lingerie, a high heel.
What the fuck are you saying? Chiffon?
Chiffon.
How do I spell that?
CH. Oh God, you're gonna watch us struggle to get this. CHAFFON.
FFON.
It could be I.
Well, it pulled up an anti-chafe cream, and then this lady.
Okay.
This lady got a SoundCloud. Let's see what Chiffon making on SoundCloud. You got 2 followers. Shout out Chiffon.
Point I'm trying to make is that there is a type of material they use on like bed sheets sometimes, and it's like silky, and it like.
It's like a faux silk type of thing?
No, it's not like soft. Or it's soft, I guess, but it's like, it's hard to explain. It fucking retains a lot of heat. It makes me sweaty. I don't like that.
Okay.
I don't like that. I don't like...
So you just don't like the feeling of things like sticking to you?
Yeah. Like leather I'm fine with, but if I... Like when I sit in my mom's car in the summer, I hate it.
Oh, yeah. No, like, leather seats in the summer are the fucking worst.
I get up and there's a ball print.
Oh my God, dude. The first time I met my girl's family, we were at their house and there was like a hot tub that we were in. I got out of the hot tub and I sat down on like one of those outdoor benches they have with like the cloth cushions. And then I stood up and there was just a perfect print of my ass and then my balls. And I was like, that's cool.
Your balls were hanging that low?
Yeah.
Nice.
My shit dangle. You ever see? Yeah, you see? I'm like fucking Devastator in Rise of the Fallen.
Okay. Insert the picture right here. I mean, there's this old like tweet. It was like a screenshot of someone texting their mom, and it was like Kevin's balls hang lower than his dick, and his mom was like, Kevin needs medical help. And I used to get very insecure when I saw that post because my balls hang lower than my dick.
I feel like it's natural.
Sorry, I'm average.
Yeah. Well, at least if you're a grower. Maybe if you're a shower, it doesn't.
Sorry, I'm not a fucking horse. Some of us have boyfriend dick. All right, next question.
Well, no, you have to answer the textures thing.
Oh, not overwhelmingly. It's not something that I can like point out as like a problem. So I'm gonna say no.
I get extremely upset when the way I like to do things is suddenly changed. Okay.
Yes. Don't even need to finish that sentence. Yes.
I've never wanted or needed to have what other people call an intimate relationship. Now,
okay, again, another fucking loaded question because
5 years ago, I would have said this was true for you.
Okay, look. It still is true. I tell Sean this all the time that no. It's crazy. Really funny because we both went into our first date thinking that it was going to, not like under the impression of like, this is going to be like, no, whatever. But it was like, oh, this will probably just end up being a hookup. And then we'll never talk to each other again kind of thing. Sean thought I was going to be a douchebag. and ghost him. I just was like, I'm gonna get bored, like, because I hate people. But I have this philosophy that if you are someone who needs to be in a relationship, you're probably someone who shouldn't be in a relationship.
Yeah,
you know, those people who like break up with their boyfriend or break up with their girlfriend and then immediately just like a week later hop into it with another person.
Yeah,
and it's like, let's find happiness within ourselves. So it's still true that I like if Sean and I broke up, I would be devastated, right? Like it's not that I wouldn't be upset, but it's not like I wouldn't be able to go on with my life single. You know what I'm saying? Like I could definitely be single and be fine and not feel soul crushing despair. There would be a void for a while in my life, but like eventually I'd be fine.
Yeah.
You know, so I am still under the impression that I don't need a relationship. Like that's not what makes me happy. I am happy in my relationship, and my relationship increases my happiness, but you take that away and I'm still like gonna be a perfectly content person.
Okay, but what about the want part?
I don't. I want to continue my relationship, but like I don't like if I'm out of a relationship, I don't necessarily I'm like I want a relationship. Like I've never gotten that drive before.
Okay. Yeah, because when you and Sean first started talking, you messaged me and you were like, "Oh yeah, I'm seeing this guy." That shit threw me for a loop because
threw everyone for a loop.
Like forever before then, you were like, "I'm never gonna get in a relationship."
Not the guy part.
No, not the guy part.
The relationship part.
Yeah, the relationship part. Yeah.
Threw everyone for a loop. I was like,
damn.
Canonically and chronically single.
Yeah.
Before the age of 23.
I've never wanted or needed to have. So true now and when I was young.
Never. No, wait. Sorry. I've never wanted it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So always true. Yeah.
Okay. It is difficult for me to start and stop a conversation. I need to keep going until I am finished.
Well,
can you blue ball yourself?
I am a yapper. That's what this is about. That's what we do. Not for a living yet, but soon. So, yeah.
It is difficult for you to start and stop?
Yeah, I like to talk.
Okay. True now and when you were young?
Oh, when I was young, big time. My mom used to tell me I never shut up as a kid. Yeah.
I speak with a normal rhythm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Always.
The same sound, color, or texture can suddenly change from very sensitive to very dull.
Okay. So this is the thing. Maybe you can put from when I was younger tentatively. Let me tell you this because this is important. So I used to get really, really bad migraines when I was younger. Like I would literally get a migraine like every day, and for reasons beyond me that I will never understand, my doctor never was like, let's get this kid an MRI because this could be a fucking tumor in your brain.
Yeah.
They were just like, we're going to give you naproxen, which is like for kids, it's a really strong, like anti-inflammatory. For adults, it's essentially like extra strength Tylenol.
Yeah.
And then I took like a preventative medication, but it was the weirdest things that would set me off. So fluorescent lighting, which is like why I hate the overhead light that I have in here. And I'm like, I'm trying to convince Sean to let me take it out so we can have only ambient wall light. Yeah, I want
those ones,
those and this chandelier above us.
Okay.
Because I can't. I hate overhead lighting. It pisses me the fuck off. It sounds super stupid, but it's trauma from when literally overhead lighting just fucks me up sometimes.
Okay.
But when I was young, fluorescent lighting was very much that. The color white also was one of those, and I'm not talking like bright white. Like I'm talking like I used to have a Green Lantern action figure, and you know how their outfits, the Green Lantern suit is green, black, and white.
Yeah. I
would look at like the white part of the symbol sometimes, and it would give me a migraine.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So it literally like there were certain things when I was younger that like
I think you were just meant to live in shadows.
Well, that's the whole thing is like, and the migraines were debilitating. Like migraines are debilitating, but like these were like, to me at least, they were extra debilitating. You know, I had to like literally go put blackout curtains in my room, get a face mask that has like the ice pack thing, you know. So when I was younger, yeah, there were certain things like smells and like any kind of cologne when I was younger did that to me. I told you last week how I have this thing with my skin where like every now and again, like anything that's scented gives me hives.
Yeah.
That's gone away since last week.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to still count that, but like
I mean, this is saying it's going from extremely sensitive to suddenly not nearly as sensitive. So not so sensitive that it sets something off, but like you just lose the feeling of it. Like it starts feeling like less. You know what I mean?
I mean, at least for sure when I was younger, I think, based off of what I just told you. But now, no, not so much.
Okay.
I get the itchy thing, but that's not.
There might be like the inverse of this question later on too, where it goes from like very dull to extremely sensitive. And when I am driving, I'll be listening to music or like a podcast or something, and it'll be like at a normal volume where I'm not like fucking blaring and fucking rattling my windows. But then it'll just start, like the sound of it will just start piercing my ears and hurt so fucking much. I have to turn it down until it's basically off.
Well, I have that, but I have a hole in my eardrum, so I have like chronic tinnitus.
I don't know if I have tinnitus or not.
Tinnitus is just a ringing in your ear.
Yeah,
like does it
I've had that since I was like a kid, but I feel like that's just the
when
normal...
you're watching like a war movie and there's like an explosion, you hear like that little like ping. To like indicate that they've lost hearing. That's that is accurate. That is exactly what you hear when you have tinnitus, but you kind of feel dizzy.
Oh, I don't feel dizzy.
You're not like, it's not like vertigo where you're like, oh, you know, like I'm like the room is spinning. It's more like you're kind of just like, you know, I don't know if I can like stand up and be stable.
You know, because from when I was a kid, whenever it was like quiet, like no sound at all, I would just hear like a boo, like
that's tinnitus.
In the background.
That's tinnitus.
So I've just always had that, and I'm now getting diagnosed here on the Learning Curve podcast.
Yeah, I'm a doctor. Didn't you know?
Okay, thank you, doctor. You want to see my balls?
What was my Captain Stabbin? Not a doctor. Stabbin. I was like, you remember when we rented that boat and I was driving the boat and I made everyone call me Captain Stabbin.
All right, next question. The phrase "I've got you under my skin" makes me uncomfortable.
No, but I do think of Frank Sinatra, and he makes me uncomfortable.
Does Frank Sinatra say that?
Yeah, he sings, you know, I've got you under my skin.
Sometimes the sound of a word or a high-pitched noise can be painful to my ears.
Well, sure, if you're screeching in my ear, that's going to be painful. That's a really stupid question. No, I like, you know, the people who are like, you can't say moist. Kill yourself. Sorry.
Yeah,
I'm probably gonna get banned on YouTube for saying that, but sorry. Like, it's a word. Move on. So no, never.
Okay, I am an understanding type of person.
Yeah, I'm pretty understanding for a certain amount of time.
Okay.
At some point, I lose my patience.
When you were young, were you understanding?
Yeah.
Okay. I do not connect with characters in movies and cannot feel what they feel.
No.
Okay.
Well, like I do connect with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot tell when someone is flirting with me. This is big for me. I can't fucking tell. I've gotten in trouble with exes, not because like I was flirting with a girl, but like some girl would come up and I would think it would be a normal conversation, and then I would tell them about it later, and they were like, "She was flirting with you. Why was she flirting with you?" Well, and I'm like, I don't fucking know. It's not my fault if people think I'm cute.
One, a little flirting never hurted. Sorry.
Yeah.
Two, that's subjective.
Yeah.
Do you know who Harry Sisson is?
No, but I
sent you a thing. I sent you a tweet about it. It was when I said close enough, welcome back Bill Clinton 2028.
Oh yeah.
So he's a fucking social media guy for the Dems. And he stumped really hard for Biden and then Harris when they switched out. And he's like he's like 21, I think, or 20.
Okay.
Like, you know, early 20s, younger than me. And it came out recently that he's been basically like sexting and like just flirting, just normal 20-year-old stuff.
Okay.
With like a multitude of women.
Okay.
At like the same, not like a group chat, but like at the same time, you know, like, and all these, I guess all these women were like under the impression like they were the only one. And there's like, the people are trying to make it a scandal, and it's like 20-something-year-old college kid flirting with multiple women. Someone fucking call Nancy Grace, because like, get this on the air. Like,
who fucking hasn't? Like,
what are we doing here? I'm sorry, if you were trying to make that news, all that tells me is that when you were 20, you didn't have a roster.
Yeah, you did not have bitches.
You cannot pull. I'm sorry. We need to let people be horny.
Yeah.
But make America
Make America hard again.
MAHA. Make America hard again.
I cannot tell when someone is flirting with
No,
me.
I can tell.
You can tell?
No, I can tell.
When you were young, could you tell? Someone was flirting with you when you were young.
Aster. Damn. Yeah, no, I can tell. I can always tell.
Okay.
I can tell now with the fucking married men at the gym.
I can see in my mind in exact detail things I am interested in.
You know that picture, that video of Professor X?
Oh, yeah. He's like giving fucking Magneto
the
Holocaust flashbacks.
I'm so sorry. Like, obviously, like the character of Magneto is very tragic, and like the Holocaust is a very serious thing. I need Kevin Feige to greenlight that for the X-Men movie. If they do that, sold. I will stand out on a Hollywood Boulevard with one of those little arrows, you know, that the little like sale guys do, with a thing that says X-Men. Like, I will stump for the X-Men movie if they greenlight that. I think the Holocaust simulator is crazy work on the part of the X-Men animators.
Yeah.
Someone, do you know a lot about the X-Men?
About as much as a normal person.
Do you know what Genosha is?
No, but it sounds like Genova, who is the god of the planet.
Genosha is just like
Final
Magneto
Fantasy.
basically creates like it varies in interpretations, but it's essentially like a country or like a planet or an area for mutants only. Someone referred to it as Space Israel, which is insane. Because in the comics, sometimes it's like on another planet or whatever.
Yeah.
But what was the question?
I can see in my mind in exact detail things I'm interested in.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I always have been able to. I'm good at picturing stuff. Sorry, I have an imagination.
I keep lists of things that interest me, even when they have no practical use. For example, sports statistics, train schedules, calendar dates, historical facts, and dates.
Let's read through some of my notes real quick. Just let me give you a little glimpse into my notes. I have a crossword scorekeeper for the New York Times for me and Sean to see who wins. What else do I have here?
I have a list of coordinates for a Minecraft server so I can find shit.
Well, that's just handy. I have a tracker for my dog's panic attacks.
Okay.
My vet did not tell me to do that. I just do that. Let's see. I have a list here titled 2025 ins and outs. And it just says 2025 ins, my tongue, your mouth.
Oh my god.
The outs were Dwayne Johnson and Ryan Reynolds, though, so.
Fucking preach.
I have a lot of copy pastas on here that I write. We're going to put that behind the Patreon wall when the time comes.
The copy pastas?
The copy pastas.
Yeah.
Those are great. I have one in here called 2025 financial plan.
Hell yeah.
I would say, yeah, I do. I have a list of Vanderpump Rules cast members as Tortured Poets Department songs.
Oh my god. Is this only now? Did you do this when you were younger?
I feel like I did this when I was younger.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, we're almost at an hour. We're on question 42, so we gotta kind of blitz through some of these.
Speed through this. Okay.
When I feel overwhelmed by my senses, I have to isolate myself to shut them down.
Sometimes. No, I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
If the answer is sometimes, I'm just gonna say no.
I like to talk things over with my friends.
Yes.
Now and young.
Yes.
I cannot tell if someone is interested or bored with what I am saying.
No, never.
Never?
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
It can be very hard to read someone's face, hand, and body movements when they're talking. The same thing, like clothes or temperatures, can feel very different to me at different times. Like it's 60 degrees, you're walking around, it feels nice, and 5 minutes later it's 60 degrees and then you get cold.
Hot, maybe, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, now and always.
Okay. I feel very comfortable with dating or being in social situations with others.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, sorry, go back. Can you go back?
Yeah.
Do just now.
Just now?
Yeah.
Okay. I try to be as helpful as I can when other people tell me their personal problems.
Yeah. Always.
Okay.
Always. Now and always.
I have been told that I have an unusual voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I get, yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And it's like, okay. It doesn't bother me, but it's just like, okay.
Sometimes a thought or a subject gets stuck in my mind and I have to talk about it even if no one is interested. This is another huge one for me.
Mind you, our last episode was spawned by one comment made about you wanting to do fucking, what was it? The fucking, what is it called? When they shoot you?
Oh, the firing squad?
Firing squad, yeah. So yeah, I guess.
Is that when you were young too?
I think, no, it's, yeah. I think it's, I do get a hyperfixation where I have to read into stuff.
I do certain things with my hands over and over again, like flapping, twirling sticks or strings, waving things by my eyes. So do you stim? Is pretty much what
this is the whole thing. I've watched our YouTube videos and I am restraining myself right now from using my hands because the first like 3 episodes of this podcast, I literally was sitting here like a fucking Italian.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think talking with your hands is different from like stimming.
What is stimming?
What I mean? It's when you do like a repetitive kind of motion, like when.
Oh, like when you like roll like a coin through your fingers, or
kind of, or like the people that like rock back and forth a lot when they're just like sitting there.
I can't tell, but if you go run this camera back, I'm sure my foot's doing this the entire time, and your foot's been doing that the entire time. So maybe, but I think that might just be like a.
There's like a difference though between. Like,
I wouldn't say I do it to
and...
like take my mind off something or like remain calm. I think it's just like a kind of.
Okay,
flappy appendage.
Yeah, it is a thing that you do to like kind of calm yourself down.
No,
like clear your
I
head.
don't know.
Okay. I've never been interested in what most of the people I know consider interesting.
No, never.
Okay.
I've never been interested, right? Like if I answer never, it means I am interested.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, correct.
I am considered a compassionate type of person.
See, I don't go around asking how I am perceived to people. This is the issue.
I took this at work, so I had to ask the people around me because I just can't perceive myself. Like, I think I asked them for the voice.
What did they say about the compassionate thing? I'm about to start. I was going to start dropping names, but I could tell you what a project manager would say.
I can't remember what my answer was for this. I do think I was more compassionate. Well,
I think you're compassionate. I think you try to be.
Yeah, I just feel like I just don't have a lot of time for people.
I think you make a good faith effort, and I think I do too. So I'm going to say yes now and when I was young.
Okay. I get along with other people by following a set of specific rules that help me look normal.
No, never.
Okay.
A weird question.
It is very difficult for me to work and function in groups.
No, that's all I do now. It's my entire job, unfortunately.
I hate working in groups. I hate having to rely on other people to hold up their end of shit.
I hate having to do it, but I do it, so...
When I am talking to someone, it is hard to change the subject. If the other person does, I can get very upset and confused.
No, never.
Okay. Sometimes I have to cover my ears to block out painful noises, like vacuum cleaners or people talking too much or too loudly.
Well, again, I have a hole in my eardrum, but I'm going to say other than that, for like it ringing, no.
Okay. I can chat and make small talk with people.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I hate doing that.
Maybe just now, though.
I just can't.
Maybe just now.
Just now?
Yeah.
Okay.
What is the 16-year-old answer? I feel like I'm doing like hyper.
It's true now and when I was young, true only now, true only when I was younger than 16.
And that's the only ones?
Never true for the last one. But
never
yeah,
true.
Those are the 3 like yeses.
So when I was young, now and young, never. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Sometimes things that should feel painful are not. For instance, when I hurt myself or burn my hand on this stove. You did electrocute yourself and you thought it was fun.
Did I perceive that question wrong? Is it... So just repeat it. I'm not going to try.
Sometimes things that should feel painful are not.
That's trying to ask if I have a BDSM kink, and the answer is now.
Now?
Now.
Okay. When talking to someone, I have a hard time telling when it is my turn to talk or to listen.
Ooh. You know what? I am going to say that's true always.
True always?
Yeah, I think okay. I have a problem of cutting people off. I've been told that, so I will. I'll own that.
Okay. I am considered a loner by those who know me best.
No.
Okay.
Never.
I usually speak in a normal tone.
I like to think I do. Yeah, put me as always.
Okay. I like things to be exactly the same day after day, and even small changes in my routines upset me. True now and when I was young. How to make friends and socialize is a mystery to me.
Never. When I was young.
Okay.
When I was young.
It calms me to spin around or to rock in a chair when I'm feeling stressed.
Just like fucking throw your arms out like the old Wonder Woman transition where she would suit up. No, never.
The phrase "he wears his heart on his sleeve" does not make sense to me.
Never.
Okay. If I am in a place where there are many smells, textures to feel, noises, or bright lights, I feel anxious or frightened.
Costco.
Sweating in Costco.
I do. I get overstimulated in Costco. I have to wear noise canceling headphones. I put on my headphones when I go shopping there. So.
And did you do that when you were young too?
No.
They didn't have those back then in the 1800s.
Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. All right. For those of you wondering, I was born before 9/11. No, I'll just go ahead and put now. I just find I don't like getting annoyed. I think it's just more irritability as I get older.
Okay. I can tell when someone says one thing but means something else.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at reading people that way. So do now. Maybe not when I was younger.
Okay. I like to be by myself as much as I can. There's another huge one for me. I love just being alone.
Yeah.
Like nothing else breathing within a half mile.
I think now more than ever. So do just now.
Okay. I like to keep my thoughts stacked in my memory like they are on filing cards, and I pick out the ones I need by looking through the stack and finding the right one or another unique way.
You ever seen that clip from Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch where he's like doing the math and he's like putting equations on like in his mind or whatever?
No.
It's so stupid. No, I don't think I do that. I don't think I ever have.
Okay. The same sound sometimes seems very loud or very soft, even though I know it has not changed. Yeah, see, this is what I was talking about earlier, when I'm just driving and then all of a sudden, like, it's just fucking blaringly loud.
Maybe not. Well, okay, this has to be what we have to discuss a little bit, because it's not like in that instance where it's like I'm driving now and then 5 minutes later, but there are like okay. For context, I set my speakers in my car to 30 when I'm by myself, right? 30, it's not blaring, but it's not like quiet.
Yeah, that's where I'll have it too.
Yeah, so sometimes though, I'll get in 30 is a little too loud for the same song that I've been listening to, and I have to turn it down. But it's not like, I'm getting in my car and driving an hour, and 30 minutes in, I'm like, oh, this is too loud.
Yeah,
same song.
That's how it
but
is.
But it might be like, oh, I listened to this song today, and then tomorrow I get in my car and it's like a little too loud at 30. Mm-hmm. So I don't. Whatever you think is best for that. Because it's like sometimes, but it's distinctly different times. It's not within the same context of a situation.
Yeah, it'll happen to me outside of driving too. Like if I have my AirPods in at work and I'm listening to something, like all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, this is so fucking loud, and I have to turn it down.
But it's not sudden for me. It's not like, all of a sudden. It's like distinctly different times. I have to walk away from whatever it is first.
Okay. I'm gonna just say never true for that.
Okay.
I enjoy spending time eating and talking with my family and friends.
Yeah, I do. I think I always have.
I can't tolerate things I dislike, like smells, textures, sounds, or colors.
I can tolerate them, but I don't like them, and I'm vocal about it.
Okay, but you can tolerate it?
Yeah, fine. Put the color chartreuse around me, but I think you look like a fucking crossing guard.
All right, I don't like to be hugged or held.
If I can avoid it, but it's not like it's bad reaction if
Yeah, but you don't like it.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that always?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. When I go somewhere, I have to follow a familiar route, or I can get very confused and upset.
Never. I have this thing where I have to switch up my route.
I'm a paranoid
schizophrenic, and I think that if I switch up my route to work sometimes, it's gonna jerk around some fucking home invaders or someone trying to kidnap me.
Yeah, I have routes that I take to places, even if they're not the most efficient or there's like a quicker way because of traffic or something. I will always take the same exact route to places I go. I'm very easy to kidnap.
Okay, good to broadcast that out.
It is difficult to figure out what other people expect of me.
Oh, okay. I'll ask.
I like to have close friends.
Yeah.
Okay. People tell me that I give too much detail.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I am often told that I ask embarrassing questions.
I don't think I've ever been told that, but I'm sure I do.
Okay. I tend to point out other people's mistakes.
I whispered that. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I call you out for your bullshit. Sorry.
All right, I'm going to get your score right now. So, the scores. This is the RAADS-R test that we just took. Score of 25 and lower. So, it's this number and lower.
Okay.
You are not autistic. Between 25 and 50. Some autistic traits, but likely not autistic. Yet, some diagnosed autistic people score as low as 44.
Autistic tendencies, yeah, okay.
Yeah. 65, the minimum score at which autism is considered. 90, stronger indications of autism, although non-autistics may score as high. 130, the mean score of autistic people, strong evidence for autism.
I like how a lot of these scores are like, well, yeah, you're autistic, but maybe not. Yeah. You're definitely not autistic, but maybe you are.
160, very strong evidence for autism.
Okay.
227, the maximum score autistic people acquired in Ritvo's seminal paper on the RADS-R.
It was 227?
Yeah.
I'm going to get like 228. Watch.
240, the maximum possible RADS-R score.
Oh, okay. Okay, so there is a limit. Okay.
You got a language subtotal of 7, a social relatedness subtotal of 25.
Okay.
A sensory motor subtotal of 17.
Okay, we're still good. We're still in the green.
And a circumscribed, I thought it said circumcision.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Circumscribed interest subtotal of 24 for a total of 73.
And what does that fall under? That's like you're definitely
above,
not autistic, but you might be.
Yeah, you're above the minimum score at which autism is considered, but you are below stronger indications of autism.
Sick.
Do you want to know what I got?
Okay, the lowest possible score is?
The lowest possible score, I guess, would be 0. But the lowest bracket is 25.
25, okay. And then the highest is 240?
240, yeah.
I'm not being mean when I say this, but I would say 138.
Higher.
Really?
Yeah, I got a 159.
Oh, that's not too bad off. What is that bracket?
Very strong evidence for autism.
I have a very sneaking suspicion that a lot of people are walking around as undiagnosed autistic.
Oh, yeah.
And that's because we have a very narrow focus of what autism is. They think it's a nonverbal kid who doesn't like to be touched.
Yeah.
And that's just not true.
Yeah.
A lot of people have Asperger's, which is a form of autism, I think. And that's like high functioning. Like you could be a high functioning autistic person.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't even know, now that we're over an hour into this, I don't even know like what the definition of autism is. Like the you know what I'm saying? Like I know what autism is, right? Don't fucking come at me in the comments. I don't know like what the medical like significance of autism is beyond like the stereotypical portrayal of an autistic person.
Okay, let me. Autism spectrum disorder is a neurological and developmental disorder that affects how people interact with others, communicate, learn, and behave. Although autism can be diagnosed at any age, it is described as a developmental disorder because symptoms generally appear in the first 2 years of life. So it's just basically like the part of your brain that deals with like interacting with other people, like the social part of your brain, I guess, just doesn't develop right, or it's got like some quirks to it.
You know how I know I wasn't autistic? My mom never clocked me when I was younger, and my mom used to be a preschool teacher. And she used to clock students from like a mile away. And her parents would get so mad at her, but she literally had like a 100 to 0 like accuracy ratio. Like, damn. Her whatever she has, like as far as her autism radar, is like my gaydar. Like it's impeccable.
It gets passed from one gen to the next.
Yeah, like they said the radar's there, but the purpose of the radar is different. I mean, yeah, there's very clearly a lot of people walking around with autism.
Yeah.
Not to label the autistic community in a bad light, but Elon Musk is very much on the spectrum. Like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah. I wonder if it's like actual autism that people have though, or if it's just like because of us becoming more kind of isolated and online, that it makes it harder for us to develop those social things in like a natural setting.
No, that's the whole thing, is like, again, I'm not trying to equate autism to like a psychological mental disorder, right? But like the DSM puts stuff into the manuals and takes them out. Like homosexuality was in the DSM-3. Yeah, we're currently on the DSM-5. For the DSM-6, which has not been released yet, it is.
Damn, he got pre-release access.
My impression. Spoilers. Well, the psychological community talks about it. I used to take a lot of psychology classes. It is my impression from listening to people who actually do psychology for like a living that, oh God, what is it called? It's not bipolar disorder. It's something close to it. Borderline. Borderline personality
disorder. Yeah.
That is being removed from the DSM-6. It is my impression that that's what's going to happen. Okay. Because they basically were like, you don't have a disorder. You're kind of just a dick. like that's kind of what it is, right? Like borderline personality disorder is kind of just like, you're just a dick. Like that's, sure, being a dick is bad. Like, being rude to people is bad, but like, it's not necessarily a disorder. Like, you just got to learn to be nice to people. Like, sorry, you can't just get away. You can't, you can't use it as a scapegoat. Like, but I don't think any mental disorder can be used really as like a solid scapegoat, but I think it like, I think like bipolar people have a bigger kind of slack on the line, for, being manic, right? Because they go through high highs and low lows. But like borderline personality people are kind of just like, yeah, you're just being a dick. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Just don't be in a bad mood. Like, and so like, I do think that we have to consider, and I'm not a doctor, so I don't know, but I think it's worth considering like the state of society as to when autism was first like put out, and if it's relevant. I mean, I think it's still relevant, but like the degrees of autism, because we went to high school with someone with Asperger's.
Oh yeah, we went with a few.
Yeah, and like they very much were high functioning. They weren't like, they weren't the stereotypical, portrayal of autism, but like you could very much tell in interacting with them that there was something up there that wasn't clicking, that was keeping them from interacting with people in a normal way. They had like that very like succinct way of talking. They were kind of awkward, but again, and this is another thing, is there's this thing about like diagnosing teenagers, because it's like it's also just awkward to be a teenager. Like all teenagers are awkward. So it's like, but there's you can tell when you're talking to someone with like very prominent Asperger's or autism, right? But like to just be like, oh, I like sharks. Or, oh, I really, really like for me, I eat the same thing every day. That's just because I just like, it's easy for me to just eat the same thing every day. Like, I'll eventually get tired of it and make something else. But like, I don't think like a small hyperfixation is, this indicator that you're some, undiagnosed person. So, I don't know.
I feel like I was going to say something, but then I forgot what it was.
It's The Hangover.
It is The Hangover.
I remember.
What the fuck happened? I forgot to ask last week. What the fuck happened to you like 2 Sundays ago?
When I was drinking, I had a few drinks. I had hashtag a few drinks.
Yeah, were you just here? Were you like out with people?
No, I was like right over there.
You're just right over there, and you were like, "Yeah, let me take 5 shots in 30 minutes without eating
like
anything."
8 or 9, I think, but it wasn't shots. It was mixed drinks. It was vodka poured into vitamin water.
Okay, yeah, because you messaged me and you were like, "How bad is it? Like, am I gonna die if I take 5 shots in 30 minutes?" And I was like, "No."
Yeah, I drank a very considerable amount in like a very short amount of time. And then it hit me all at once, and then I broke the seal, and then...
Was that before or after you texted me like that long message?
After. I broke the seal, and then Sean was like, "Okay, let's go lay down." And I was like, "Actually, I want to lay down on the couch." And he was like, "Okay." So I laid down right here, and then like immediately after laying down, I was like, "You need to bring me to the bathroom. You have like 15 seconds to get me above something that will flush down a drain with a drain." And then I sat in there for like an hour, and apparently, I don't remember this, but apparently like he was like, "Hey, it's 10 p.m. You usually go to bed at 10 p.m. on Sundays because you got work in the morning. You should go to bed." And I was like, 5 more minutes. And he kept coming in every 5 minutes and trying to get me to go to bed. I went to bed at like midnight. So yeah, just a few drinks, nothing too crazy.
Okay.
Just loosening up.
Yeah. Yeah, I just drank a bunch of Trulies last night and played League of Legends. That's all I did.
My tolerance is so fucked up because sometimes I can drink like a whole bottle of vodka and be like, I'm fine. And other times I'm like, oh, I thought about a White Claw and I'm kind of drunk. We went to a restaurant in Half Moon Bay and I ordered a cocktail. I don't remember what it was. It was like a martini, but it wasn't like a martini where it was just like straight alcohol. It was like a mixed whatever. And I had like half of it and I looked at Sean and I was like, I can't drive. He was like, "Are you drunk?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I'm like."
Are you eating anything before these? Like, have you consistently ate a good amount throughout the day, or are you just saying?
I'm like kind of gooning on camera.
What?
I went like this for a second. I'm like,
and that means you were gooning on camera.
Yeah, that's what gooning is. You make faces while you jack off.
No, that's not at all what
that
gooning
is what gooning is.
No, gooning is just beating off for like 2 days straight.
No, but you have to do the stupid faces.
Are you thinking of ahegao?
No, it's gooning. Trust me. I'll send you not me, but
hey, I don't want to see you gooning.
No, sometimes I eat, sometimes I don't.
Okay. Because I feel like with my experience with you drinking, you were like on a hair trigger. Like,
what do you mean?
You have one shot and you're like, all right, I'm going to finish this bottle and be belligerent the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's my alcoholism coming back out. I got real bad in Reno. Like it was like
everybody got bad in Reno.
Yeah, it was like Tuesday night. I was going out and fucking getting wasted on like a Tuesday night. Then going. I remember one time I literally woke up at, I think I had work at like 7. I woke up at 6:45. Still probably not okay to drive. I'm not bragging about this. Probably not okay to drive. Got to work and was like sitting there at my little podium, sweating, teeth unbrushed.
Oh, you didn't even brush your teeth.
Mouth. I had 15 minutes to get to work.
Take the toothbrush with you.
Mouth. You know the smell of an empty Jack Daniel's bottle.
Mm-hmm.
That is exactly what my breath probably smelled like. I was like, you could probably smell the tequila on like sweating out of my body.
God, dude, I will never forget the smell of your guys' apartment when you lived with what's his face?
Zach.
Yeah. And we like went out to breakfast and then we came back in and it just fucking smacked us.
I don't remember where I was, but I remember smelling a Jack Daniel's bottle recently and I just was like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, ever since that one night in Josh's backyard, I can never drink whiskey. Anytime I get close to smelling it, it makes me want to immediately throw up.
That, and then also, well, no, it's whiskey. What's it called? Knob Creek.
Yeah.
That thought of that makes me just
kind
of choke up a little bit. It's like, ugh, no. That, peach anything. I just don't like the taste of peach, but like peach anything. Absolute vodka.
Specifically the Absolute brand?
Because you didn't go up to Joe's cabin with us.
Mm-mm.
So we went up and we brought a litany of alcohol. There is a picture of the lineup somewhere. I need to find it.
I was about to say, from what I remember of the cover, it was Jose Cuervo and a bag of hot Cheetos at least.
Both Jose Cuervos.
Oh. I recently found out there are 3 types of tequila. I thought there were only 2.
What is the third?
There's Añejo, which is the brown.
Okay.
There's the clear one.
Okay.
Blanco. Is that yeah.
Tequila
and
Blanco.
then there's Reposado, which is like a yellow kind of in between.
Okay, so like mixed.
Yeah.
It's like it's like the fake gasoline that's in the middle.
Yeah.
No, so it's both Jose Cuervos, Knob Creek, Absolute, Fireball,
Ugh.
root beer schnapps.
Root beer schnapps?
Yeah. And
were you mixing the root beer schnapps with the Fireball? Because I know you mix root beer and Fireball, and I've tried it. It is a good drink.
I probably did, but what I did is I lined up a shot of each and just threw them all back.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah. Oof. Okay, we got to stop now because I'm getting sick thinking about this. Do you have a hyperfixation?
I thought you were asking me personally.
No, I'm asking the audience. Do you have a hyperfixation that leads you to believe that you have undiagnosed autism, even though you most definitely don't? Let us know.
Yeah, I'll put like I said, it's the RADS-R test. Go online, self-diagnose yourself.
We'll link it. I can link it.
Okay.
Just send me the link and I'll put it in the show description.
Okay. Yeah. Self-diagnose yourself. Your doctor doesn't know what they're talking about.
Self-diagnosing.
You know what's best for you. You know what medications you need. If your doctor doesn't give them to you, go and find them from someone who will.
It's my doctor hates me because I will literally go and I'll be like, this is what's wrong with me. And they're like, actually, no. And I'm like, actually, yeah, it really is. Sorry, your medical school doesn't count.
My nose is running. WebMD says I have a tumor.
Oh, I forget what it was. I had something going on with my body at one point. And I was like, oh, I think I might have like stomach cancer. And Sean was like, what are you talking about? Like, yeah. Okay. Let's do some socials. Bluesky, learningcurvepod.bsky.social, YouTube, Learning Curve Pod. Like and subscribe. I need to get back on posting the shorts. I haven't been posting the shorts. Mm-hmm. So we'll do that. Twitter, we are Learning Curve Pod. Instagram, learningcurve.podcast. TikTok, we are Learning Curve Podcast, and Bodhi's Twitch is Shrink3Dink. We are like the TikTok. It's so I think it's about because do you know how TikTok's algorithm works?
No, I don't know.
You have to post at a very specific window on a very specific day. That's why I only post on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And you have to post between like certain times, and then if you want your thing to get traction, you have to watch your video full way through.
Oh yeah,
and then shut the app off.
Yeah,
because then it wants you to get back on, so it will push it so people like it, so that you get back on and get the likes.
Yeah.
Not that I'm trying to manipulate the algorithm, but I really am.
No, yeah, we are.
But we are picking up steam. Like some of our videos get like 6 views, some of them get like 1,000, but like we're picking up steam. So TikTok.
I need to get back on posting my own personal shit on TikTok. I just haven't been doing anything interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna make a cooking video for TikTok, and then I was like, I did a movie review. It was very nice. But yeah, we need to like and subscribe to YouTube, do TikTok and Instagram. Those are my 3. Bluesky I do like, but more so the other 3.
I don't think anyone is real on Bluesky.
Bluesky's a fucking like I'm with her left liberal like bubble, and I love it. It's so nice. It's nice to see people live out one more time. Okay, well.
All right. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.